Hello, and thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I'm the founder of K9 for Veterans. Tonight, I've got two really special guests with me. These guys are totally amazing, which you're going to find out during this broadcast. I've got Sal to my right.
Hello.
Brian to my left. They are the owners and founders of Gun Barrel Coffee. And if you haven't tried their coffee, you need to. Why don't you give us a little backstory? How did this all come about, Gun Barrel? How did the name come about? Who came up with the idea? How long have you been doing this?
I'll let Brian explain.
Okay, so we started now, this will be 8 years in February this year. It's crazy how it kind of came up. Sal and I had a business together before this. We always talked about doing something to support veterans, first responders. I think we got tired of the last business. We were sitting around talking about what we might do. He had some experience in his family roasting coffee. My grandfather roasted coffee. We started talking one day, I think we were somewhere, and we started complaining about why can't you just get a decent cup of coffee when you want one? Why does it always have to be acidic and bitter and horrible like this? And we're talking about it, and Sal said, what if we did coffee? And so we started looking around, trying to figure out what's it going to take us for us to get in. What's the investment? What's the time? How much knowledge do we have to get? What's the learning curve? We ended up going to.
So you didn't know anything before you started. This was all you just right from the hip.
Yeah, Sal had some experience. His family roasted coffee.
Very little, but
Yeah, the only coffee roasting I had experience with my grandfather. He made a roaster for his barbecue grill, because when my dad was in Vietnam, my dad would send beans back from Vietnam. My grandfather would roast them and then send them back.
Wow.
For my grandfather at the time, nobody could make a coffee dark enough. So his idea was he'd on the grill and he would burn his own beans basically. So he made really bitter, horrible coffee. But send it back to my dad.
Grandpa made bad coffee.
Yeah, but then so Sal and I, we went to a show in Chicago that was all about coffee. Went down there, met a couple companies, figured out what the investment was, and just took a shot, took a risk, and we were working in the 3-season room in the back of his house.
That's how it started.
yeah, in the back of a 3-season room. Most people start in a garage, but we decided to do it in a 3-season room. We'd be roasting a bunch of different experimental stuff. We made sure we had a list of different beans we were using, trying to come up with a right blend, so it actually had a really smooth taste to it.
There is an art to this. This isn't just roast some beans and call it coffee.
Right. It is an art. It is almost like science.
Right.
Right? Because you have to measure. You have to find the right beans that go good with each other. And then once you find it, you kind of keep it as a secret. Well, we've been doing this for 8 years, and we've come up with other blends that worked out really well, and we just keep getting lucky at hitting the right beans.
Well, I can only speak from personal experience. The first time I tried your coffee, I thought, oh my God, this is really good coffee. I mean, not just good coffee, it's really good coffee. It's not bitter. It doesn't leave an aftertaste in your mouth like most coffees do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was smooth, and it was just the aroma, when it's percolating, even has a very unique smell to it.
I think our favorite thing is we do a lot of trade shows and charity events almost every weekend, right? A bunch during the week. So I always tell people, we always give out free samples. Like, try the coffee. Like, I've had a coffee. No. And then I love when they taste the sip. Like, every time.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so surprised that it's not acidic or bitter.
We have K9 has a resale store that half the store is loaded with veteran-owned products, and your product, and it flies off the shelf. It really does. People come back. If they buy one bag, they come back and they're buying more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good this coffee is. And now that we're opening a larger store in the same Bolingbrook Promenade Mall, we're going to actually have a little coffee bar. That's how much we love your product. We want people to taste it, because I know once they taste it, they're coming back for more. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been expanding. We're in Woodman's in North Aurora, Woodman's in Carpentersville, Amazon Prime, right? A couple other local mom and pop places, and we just keep trucking along. A couple other places throughout the United States. We're still pretty small, but you know, we do all the roasting we do is fresh, so it's within a couple of days after it being roasted and being sent out, and it's been real popular. And we have people come in, get coffee, because we sell coffee by the cup, and now we're selling cups of coffee at shows. We just started that over Christmas,
Right.
and it's been a big hit selling coffee. And you know, maybe one day when we get a little bit bigger, we'll have maybe a little place to sit. Not right now. Right now, we're just strictly retail and roasting.
Right.
And we
So
do
you're
have
talking about like a little Starbucks.
better than Starbucks.
Such a
Well,
bad,
better than
that's such a
Starbucks.
bad. That's an evil word. It's that's such an evil word around here at Starbucks. No, it's just if you want to
Yeah.
help some guy buy yacht gas, go buy that coffee. But to us, that coffee's bitter, acidic. So
Oh, it's
So
it can't compare to your coffee.
it's
but
$8
yeah.
for a cup of coffee. So
I mean, we really do blow out the competition. We've beaten out Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, even local coffee that is, because they buy their beans from a local roaster because they don't make their own. But, we blow them out of the water, and slowly but surely we get people coming in and,
Oh, yeah.
asking for our coffee. Even we have one store or one Papa and
Mama and Papa Bear.
Mama and Papa Bear down in Missouri. They opened up a coffee shop and they exclusively use all our beans.
Wow, that's
So
great.
eventually, he would ask me forever, can we set up a Gun Barrel Cafe? Can we set up a Gun Barrel Cafe? And I said, we're getting there. Just not ready to start franchising yet or figure out that plan. But it's been a good enough response. On top of all that, making great coffee, it's really easy for us to sell coffee because what we do is we donate $1 from everything we sell.
Right. I was
Whether it's
gonna say that.
coffee, merchandise, it doesn't matter. We donate $1 from everything we sell to local and national veteran and first responder charities.
Well, all I can tell you is that K9 was out at your store just last week?
Mm-hmm.
And we got a great donation for K9 to help provide a service dog to a veteran. And you've done this a couple times for us,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
actually made a substantial donation to go towards that service dog. And I noticed when I was in your store that you, like K9, you have a lot of veteran-owned products in your store.
Yeah, we have mostly every product we have in the store is from veterans. We got Charlie Mike's beef jerky in
Right.
there. We got Core Spice. They're located
Great
in
company.
West Chicago. PTSD Woodwork.
Patriotic Frog.
Patriotic Frog. We're not going to forget about Bobby. Who else do we have? Patriot Popcorn.
Patriot Popcorn.
Yeah.
Red Glare Bullets.
Yep, Red
Creations. Make jewelry out of bullets. So all the companies that we tend to partner with are the companies who are like-minded, who are about supporting veterans.
Right.
Not just companies who are about selling a product, but about creating some support out there. I'm not a veteran. I grew up the son of a veteran, but I can tell you it's been amazing to me becoming part of it. To see the kind of support the veterans have for each other.
Right.
It's amazing how you don't even have to ask for help a lot of times. They reach out automatically and
If
say,
you're a
hey,
veteran helping other veterans, I mean, you couldn't ask for more than that. And to give $1 from every sale that you make to go towards a veterans organization that are out there doing things for veterans, I mean, come on. Not many companies are doing that. They'll say we, give a portion of the proceeds to our
Right,
veterans, but
right.
you never see it.
Right.
Where you keep giving these checks out to help other organizations based on what you're doing in your coffee sales, which is amazing. What are your plans? I mean, what do you want to do in the future? What are your aspirations as far as growing?
I mean, all I care about is that someday we get to hand. What's cool is we wait all year, right? We collect donations all year, but we give gift baskets and stuff throughout the year. But then our favorite time is at the end of the year. We figure out how much we had in donations. Then we invite everybody down to come to the shop. We get to give them the big check.
Right.
We love it. Like that's
Been there and done that.
Right. It's the best. It's the best day. We have the most fun doing that. It's so great when everybody comes down to the shop, hangs out. Love when you guys come. Bring a dog. Guys are so great. Come and hang out. So all the organizers do that. That's the best time of the year. We look forward to that so much. But for me, I think Sal too is what we want to be able to do is at the end of every year is rather than giving out the checks we give now is hand out over $1 million checks.
Wow.
Whatever the success of business is, whatever revenue the business does is great. but the donation is why the business matters. Right? I mean, Sal and I kind of made an agreement that when we started the business, for 3-4 years, we were losing money hand over fist. We both poured everything we had personally into the business. I mean, we were at a point where it was funny. We'd go to a trade show, we'd go do $1,000, $2,000 in sales. Oh, we had a great weekend. And he called me Monday. He's like, "You got to put another $1,000 in."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why? We got to buy more beans."
Yeah,
I'm like, "What are you talking about? We just made money." He's like, "Yeah, it was costing money." So we did that for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, but we never stopped donating from the day one.
I know.
We did the donation, whether we were losing money or not. I think Sal on the same page that if we can't donate, then we'll just stop. We'll just quit the business. Like that. Even if we're losing money, we're gonna still donate no matter what happens.
That's amazing. It really is. I mean, you guys have a heart, and your heart is into it totally.
Oh.
And what you're doing for not only what you did for K9, but what you're doing for other organizations to help them along the way. Because let's face it, you know, being a not-for-profit isn't easy. It's a struggle. We're all struggling for the same dollar. And when I get that call from you, and Sal says, "Hey, come on and pick up a check," I couldn't get there fast enough. Because it's always a great check. I really admire you guys for what you're doing. And we were talking, now you've got, how do you come up with the different formulas for this? I mean, you've got, how many different blends do you have? Do you know?
17 or 18.
Yeah.
I was trying to look on
That-
your website.
That's Sal's arena. Sal's the magician with all the beans and figuring it out. He's
It's-
the roast master that figured out how to make the blends. And
Who
make them
does
so
that,
good.
Sal?
Sal, I get to taste test it,
Ah.
and I say it's not good, or it's not. So I don't have to do all the hard work. He has to do all the hard work and figure it out. And I say, doesn't taste. It's not enough whiskey in this one. This one doesn't. It's too much chocolate. It's too dark. It's ashy. Then I just complain about it. Then he has to go back to the drawing board.
Really?
Like we did when we first did our double dark battleship, there was a fine line in roasting it twice, which was experimental, right? And the first time we did it, it was ashy. It was nope, doesn't meet our standard. It might have met someone else's standard, but didn't meet
But
ours.
you have a certain goal that you try to reach for your blends.
It has to be smooth.
Wow.
No matter how dark it is, it still has to be smooth
Oh,
and
it
full
is.
of flavor.
Like I said, I drink it every morning.
Yeah. And then even when we started doing barreled age coffee, it took some time to figure out how to do that right. And our very first one we did was the Sergeant Major, which is a brandy infused coffee, and it is
Actual brandy?
no brandy in it, but the barrel was in brandy.
Oh, okay.
We start with virgin barrels,
Yeah.
soak it with our own brandy. And it takes 3 months to actually make those blends.
Really? Now, how much inventory do you have to have? A lot?
It all depends when what season we're in. Like soon we'll be ordering a lot more bags of beans. It's sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes we're ordering a couple 100 pounds. If it's a really big show and we're not going to do really good, it's a couple 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
We try to run just-in-time inventory,
Yeah.
so we're not laying out all of our cash flow.
Exactly.
We've been through some tough times. You know, our first year in business, or come around the second year, January and February are dead months for us. So that the first year almost put us out of business.
Do you have is there a busier time for coffee sales typically?
Between September and December is our busiest time. September is always our best month, even with Christmas time. September it starts. It was our first month where we made profit ever was September, like our 4th year in September. I couldn't believe it. My wife does our bookkeeping for us, so all our bookkeeping. She handed me the P&L. She's like, look at the bottom line. I'm like, what happened? She's like, you guys actually made money. I'm like, there's not a possibility. I'm like, wait, you mean we might be able to pay ourselves? Wait, the company can buy our gas that we're using? We can buy,
Yeah.
we're going to pay the electric bills out of the company money? What is going on? What's wrong? We just had a huge month and exploded. So, but that's it. And the summer, believe it or not, because we're at more events, more festivals, and people are really active, right? So we sell more coffee then.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, like I said, you've got a great product. There's no doubt about it. You know, we just got to get the word out to let everybody know how good this coffee really is. Because if you're not drinking it, you're missing something out. You really are. You could stop at the store in Bolingbrook Promenade Mall, pick up a couple bags. Where's your store located? Why don't you tell us how to
So
reach?
we're located in Batavia, Illinois. We're at 4 West Wilson on the back side of the building in Batavia. Brian, you want to give out the web?
Sure. The easy thing is go to www.gunbarrelcoffee.com. Go to our website. You can order everything on there. We ship quick. If you order today, we're going to ship it out within the next 2 days, and it'll be fresh. It'll just have been roasted. You can also go to Amazon or Amazon Prime. Free shipping if you want it.
That's great.
And then we do, and we offer subscriptions. So it's always a smart thing. We give you a discount if you do subscription. So then the right amount of coffee will just show up every month. You don't think about getting coffee.
That's a great idea.
At the store, right?
Yeah.
It makes life so much easier. Like if it just get 2 bags a week, you'll be happy.
And even like right now, like we got the bourbon coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to be start roasting next week. We'll probably do maybe only about 100 bags, so it goes by quick. So if you'd like to order some, you can pre-order now.
Yeah,
But we do sell out pretty quick. And then in the summertime we do a rum, a cherry whiskey, and then
smoked coffee too.
Smoked coffee, and this year we're going to do smoked coffee. Some bags smoked and some bags smoked and brandy or bourbon.
Wow. How did you come up with the name Gun Barrel?
So it's supposedly based on my dad, that when he was in the field in Vietnam is how he made coffee in the field, right? It was my
I
dad.
love that name.
It's my dad. Who knows how much was real or how much is that? But that's what he said they call it was gun barrel coffee. Basically, it tasted like it was made through a gun barrel, right? So it was bad coffee back then. Now we make good smooth coffee.
It is good coffee. I mean, it's amazing what you guys have. You've come a long way
Yeah.
from when you started.
Yeah, we used to stand like we're now. We used to stand shoulder to shoulder in his 3-season room. I'd be at his house till midnight, 1 o'clock every night during the week. Got to the point I'm like, I think I might live here.
Yeah.
Like I felt so bad. Like I'm invading him, his wife, and kids. Like my kids were younger, his kids were younger. We're trying to raise our families at the same time doing this. Plus both working jobs. It was crazy. So I'd come out after work and we'd roast till 12, 1 o'clock at night, and I'd be there at his house. I'm like, God, starting to feel guilty about this all the time. And so thank God we were able to grow enough. We got lucky enough. We worked with a local organization to us that helped entrepreneurs. The owner of the property development company by us that owns almost every property, we begged him for a cheap space, and he gave us our space where we've been now for 7 years.
That's an awesome space where you're at. It does. And again, I like the fact that, you have other veteran-owned products in your store. You're not just all about Gun Barrel. It's about how you could help out other organizations, veteran organizations. And that's what I find so commendable because, we need to give these veterans that are just starting out, like you guys started out, give them a little helping hand to get their product or their service noticed and get it out to the public.
It's nice having the shop because being an Army veteran of Iraq, I get all different types of veterans that come in. I had some World War II ones, Koreans, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. And it's sometimes just nice to talk to them, hear their story. And you can tell they want to talk about, their time in the military because, their wife already heard all this stuff or something. Or, they just want somebody to talk to or just hang around with another veteran.
A new ear to listen.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, too, what's so important is it's another veteran to talk to because they don't want to tell these things to their family, to tell their wife.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad never shared.
Most veterans don't.
Right. My dad shared maybe 2 stories of his whole time.
Yeah.
Right. All through the Army, and didn't share that much. Didn't share with anybody in the family. So, the funny thing is, because he was a Vietnam veteran, right? Didn't really talk about it much. Didn't share it much. It was so looked down upon, even until the 90s.
Oh, it was terrible.
Right. It was horrible. But when he got sick and started going to Heinz, the crazy thing was he spent a lot of time there, weeks there at a time, finally getting to talk with other veterans. It gave him an opportunity as an outlet to let some of that stuff
Exactly.
go. Because he held it in forever. You could tell it always affected him.
Right.
And he finally had a chance to let it go and talk to other people who could understand. That's one thing he always said. No one can understand unless you've actually been through it.
When we have our veterans, when we give a veteran a service dog, they'll come into the program apprehensive. Is this for me? Is it going to work? Is this going to... but what I find so amazing is that when they come in and they're working with that dog and training with that dog, now they're meeting other veterans that have been through the same thing that they're going through, and now they have somebody to relate to.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the best medicine for them,
Yeah.
because now they're amongst their peers. They all shared the same experience, and to watch them train with their dogs, it's just an amazing gift. We just got that 5-minute
I just want to say thank you for what you guys do. When I heard about your organization and started learning what you guys do, you train the dog, you give him the dog, you pay for the dog, you pay for its medical care, you pay for its food the rest of its life.
Right.
The amount that a support dog costs already is out of this world, astronomical. Plus the care, the feeding is just the training.
Well, you can't give a veteran a service dog, somebody who has PTSD, and say, well, here's another mouth to feed, here's another potential medical bill.
That's amazing.
Then it becomes a burden more than it's helping them. So if you can take all that out of the equation, it helps. But getting back to Gun Barrel Coffee, I can't say enough about your product. And I'm not saying that just because we're here together. If you drink it, you're going to love it. That's all I can tell you. I mean, Reggie, our vice president, who does the ordering, she swears by it. She drinks it every day and loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try it out, go to gunbarrelcoffee.com, order up a bag, try it out. I mean, we have all the way from light roast to double dark to our specials. We have merchandise, travel mugs.
Yeah, we have having beans, whole bean, ground, K-cups, whatever you need. There's great espressos. Let's do this for everybody watching. If you guys go, and this will help us generate some more funds for K9 for Veterans, use the code K9TV. Kilo Niner Tango
K9
Victor.
TV.
K9 TV.
That'll
give you 10%
K9
off on gunbarrelcoffee.com.
Like I said, your product's a great product. We just love it, and you guys are doing, and what you're doing for our veterans on top of what you're doing to promote their coffee, but you're actually promoting other veteran organizations.
Yes.
You guys have a huge heart for what you're doing, and I'm sure it's as stressful could be.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's something we're so passionate about.
Right, you have to be.
Well, people ask, so I still work my full-time job, Sal's running the store all day, so we're working 7 days a week, right, typically all year long. So the 1 year, we worked 285 days before either one of us had a day off.
Wow.
And people are always like, how could you do this? How could you, man? I'm like, you don't even think about it. Like the weekends we look for, as tough as it is, you look forward to it. You're out seeing people, meeting people.
Right.
We get to hear other veteran stories. Like we know of nothing more than when veterans come up to our booth and start telling us their story. We've heard some amazing stories, some horrendous stories, some tough stories to hear, but you want to hear it.
Right.
And if it doesn't grab you by the heart, I don't know.
Brian, real quick, give us one more recap. Website, location, Facebook.
So gunbarrelcoffee.com. You can find us on Facebook at gunbarrelcoffee.com, Instagram, gunbarrelcoffee.com, 4 West Wilson, Batavia, Illinois. And then make sure if you're at gunbarrelcoffee.com, use K9TV, and that'll get you 10% off your next order.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. You're two amazing men. Your heart is definitely in the right spot. You're doing so much to help veterans. And it's just a gift what you're doing. I can't thank you enough. I'm proud to be associated and have your coffee in our store because it's that good.
Well, thank you for what you do and having us on here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to be in the store and work together.
No, that's awesome.
I'm still blown away every time I think about what you guys do, and I explain it to people all the time. I said, I'm like, they give them the dog, they train the dog, they work with the veteran, they pay for the. I'm like, do you understand what that is that they're giving? Like, how could there be an organization that's great that can accomplish that?
And just real quick, we do have opportunities for if somebody would like to carry our coffee, they can contact us.
Just hit me up, Brian, at gunbarrelcoffee.com. BRIAN
Guys, thank you.
gunbarrelcoffee.com.
They're giving me that nasty 1 minute warning.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate the time. Guys, have a great night.
Have a good one.